Martin Luther King Jr. Firstly, this isn't to say that Martin Luther King Jr. doesn't deserve respect for the work that he did. I believe that he was sincere in his actions. The problem is that he was naive and easily misled by those around him. In the last half of the last century, African people were fighting for real freedom, for human rights, not civil rights. Countries across the African continent rose up against European imperialism, entering into over 40 years of out-and-out war with European colonial powers who were all being aided by the USA. Kwame Nkrumah, a leader of the struggle for Ghanaian independence, said that there was a window of opportunity to gain true independence for Africa and freedom from unfair prejudice for African people globally. Had the frustrations of African Americans kind of diverted their support towards supporting the African liberation struggles, their access to global international institutions could have helped exploit that opening that Nkrumah mentioned. Instead, led by people like Martin Luther King Jr., they chose to fight for civil rights, not human rights. Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael as was, said that the civil rights movement was a government trap to bring black people into the American middle classes, where they would be less critical of government policies, especially foreign policy. The great irony is that the civil rights movement wasn't really necessary. The wars in Africa not only destroyed the almost total control that European nations had over Africans, but they also exposed the brutality and inhuman practices of European colonialism. Segregation in the USA became no longer tenable, and it would have vanished even without the civil rights movement. Luther King Jr. became a hero for the government by taking credit for forcing an end to the Jim Crow laws, allowing the government to save face with white voters. Luther King Jr. himself said that their gains were achieved at bargain rates. The government didn't really have to do a great deal. He added that it did, however, cost African Americans. He gave the example of the food counters, where black people protested at the white-owned food counters that wouldn't allow them or wouldn't serve them. Following the end of segregation, African Americans flocked to the white-owned food counters, boosting their trade and causing black-owned food counters to close, of course, due to the loss of trade. Luther King Jr. didn't liberate black people. He simply boasted a European supremacist society with black support. He and the civil rights movement were instrumental in creating a black middle class and hardcore black Republicans. Hardcore black Republicans such as the Niggers for Nixon, Blacks for Trump, the Black Tea Party, and black membership of far-right organisations such as the Black Leader of the Proud Boys and the Black Protagonists for Mums for Liberty, etc., etc. Martin Luther King Jr. is no hero of mine because he didn't free black people. Instead, he and the civil rights movement have probably condemned us to racism everlasting.